Check out this bush that we have here. It is some type of a berry bush. Very pretty. I'm not sure what kind of berries those are exactly, so if you know, just put something in the comments below. I'm not going to try to eat any of them because, with my luck, they're probably the kind that make you hallucinate and then die. So we're going to just leave that guy alone till we know exactly what we're dealing with. Well, hello once again, fellow people. Welcome to another edition of Tommy Travels. It's Tommy Travels. And I am in the beautiful city of Alexandria, Minnesota today, and I have you along for the ride. Got this gorgeous lake behind me. It's a wonderful day outside. This is not our destination, however, today. We're not going to be doing a paddleboat cruise or anything like that like we did in our last adventure. No, there's a couple other interesting things that we need to check out here in Alexandria. So come on with me, let's go see what there is to see. And here we are at our first destination of the day, and I would like you to meet this guy, Alexandria's famous Viking Statue. He was built by a guy named Gordon Schumacher in early 1965. It was for the 1964-65 New York World's Fair. And when they were done with the World's Fair, he was trucked over to Alexandria, but not at this location. No, he was a few blocks down Broadway, kind of more in town. And he was quite a sight to behold because he towered over most of the buildings in town. But he was also quite used and abused over the years. One year, they dressed him up as Santa Claus in a Santa Claus outfit for Christmas, and somebody shot a flaming arrow through him and set him ablaze. And then over the years, other things happened. Somebody snapped off a piece of his sword. He even had his foot crushed in a roof collapse as he was being repaired. So in 2015, they were doing a reconstruction of some of the damage on there and found out he even had more damage than what they thought, and so they did a complete refurbishing. In 2002 he had been moved to this location, but in 2015 they really did a spectacular job of bringing him back to life in all of his Viking glory. It's kind of cool to see him in his middle-aged years, right near the lake, to entertain and amuse generations to come. So on previous destinations, we have been to a plane museum, we've seen classic cars and model trains, but we have never been to a boat museum. And inside of this building, from what I understand, are some classic old wooden boats. I don't know too much about boats, so we're gonna just kind of go inside and learn about this together. So I thought I was just gonna see boats in this museum, but check out this wood carving sculpture. These were put together by a guy named John Buck, who was born in Ames, Iowa, and he was a big fan of wood carvings. He got soft wood from Malaysia to make these sculptures. There's lots of gears and pulleys that all move at the touch of a button. It's kinetic energy that's being used to move these around. This guy blindfolded with swinging an axe to chop down the tree. Check out these bats. We've got the strings that flap the wings. They go up and down. It's fascinating what a person with a good imagination and some soft wood can come up with. Here is an old guiding boat from 1928. Look at that. Here's an actual fish, a 10-pound walleye. It was caught by Al Wicken on Lake Darling in Alexandria, Minnesota. Al Wicken, he's the guy who used to own this boat, was a Alexandria Lakes area fishing guide. He used it for many guiding adventures. You can see some of his paraphernalia on here, a little chair to hang out and relax, a lantern, and that is Al Wicken himself. I also like these old binoculars right here. In our previous adventure, we were cruising on Lake Pepin in Lake City, Minnesota, which is the birthplace of water skiing. We talked about the guy who invented it, and this is a pair of the very early skis from back in the day. Look at this little guy right here. It's a Larson boat. Looks like it was more for recreation than fishing or anything like that. This is a Minnesota-made boat. Pretty sweet looking. And if you're going to have a sweet looking boat like that, it's a good idea to have a sweet looking matching car to tow it along. That is cool. This one's kind of a cool boat. Very roomy seating. Almost reminds you of driving in a car. Pretty fancy looking boat. And what I really like about this one is this is Uncle Bob from 1950. I like that boats have names like that. It's always like the Magical Christina or the Faithful Gracie or something like that, that people go out on their big yachts. Let's go out on the Faithful Gracie or Gracie Faithful. But this one, not anything fancy like that. It's just Uncle Bob. Well, get a load of this luxury beauty that we have here. Very luxurious accommodations with the leather seating for the passengers. And then here's the engine right here. 4 horsepower at 300 RPM. Pretty fancy. I like the steering wheel here. It's got, you can see the string or the wire that's hooked up to for when you turn and then it moves. You don't see that too often these days anymore, but that's what it looked like. So what we were looking at here is something I didn't think I was going to see today, but this is a heliboat. Unbelievable. It was designed by Brooks Stevens. Brooks Stevens happens to be also the guy who designed the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile and came up with the idea to put windows in the front of washing machines. Very fascinating. I never thought of the idea of a heliboat. I didn't know one existed, but this is a prototype. It was made to highlight what outboard motors and designers could accomplish in the future. Here's a little look at the inside with the seat and their control panels. Pretty wild. Now, I don't know this for sure, but someone around here is an awful big fan of the Johnson outboard motors. Look at that, a whole line of them. This is a Garwood boat, also built in Minnesota, from 1937. Made out of mahogany. I think they did that so that they could say, "My boat is made out of rich mahogany." This place has so many boats, they can't really even fit them all on the floor. Some of them have to go up on the ceiling, like this guy. Pretty big sailboat to prop up there. And look at this, in back they even have some very beautiful gardens.
Thank you.
This guy says,
much. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
It's a 6-year project.
6 years.
Friends.
Wow, well you did a great job.
Thank you. There was going to be an RV park. The city purchased the homes and demolished the homes, and it never matured. And thankfully for that, we were able to acquire the land from the city and maintain it and bring it into the gardens. This is all a donated project. All the work here, all the pavers, everything is donated.
Wow.
So it's pretty amazing. It's been a 6-year process. We did it in phases. This first phase with the event stage is a gathering place for the community, weddings, funerals, celebrations. The phase 2 to the east, or to the west, is a little garden rooms, and as they mature, it'll be little private little sanctuaries to hang out. And then phase 3 is another bridge leading over to a more of a natural habitat place.
Wow.
But it's being enjoyed by members of the museum, the city, and people from all over the country. It's really a place that memories are being made.
Absolutely, and it seems to pair very nicely with the boat museum, and come right out and enjoy some nature.
Indeed.
That's excellent. Thank you. And you are Bruce?
My name is Bruce Olson, one of the founders here and the executive director of the Legacy of the Lakes Museum.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for being on Tommy Travels today. They even have this little bench area where you can sit right down and enjoy some beautiful pond views. This is a very, very beautiful, well done area back here. Very peaceful. I'm glad it did not become an RV park. That is for sure. Looks like they have a band shell set up over there. So I suppose if they have a wedding back here or something like that, that's where they set it up. Pretty beautiful. This would be a good place to stage an event. Well, if you're a fan of Tommy Travels, you know that I like to end these things, if at all possible, with a waterfall, for a little moment of serenity. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with me today. It was another fun episode of Tommy Travels. We got to see some really cool things. And if you liked what you saw, go ahead and just hit like right there. Also, hit subscribe and that little bell next to you. That'll give you notifications of future videos that are yet to come. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, you can go to tommytravels.fun. And there it has links to my Facebook and Instagram, even a link back to YouTube, and it's got sneak previews of the next video to come out, as well as the current and previous one as well. So lots of ways to follow along. And I appreciate you guys coming along with me once again. And if you've got ideas for future videos, I would love to hear them. Just leave it in a comment below. And thank you guys. And I hope to catch you on the flip side.